What's up, listeners? We are back live. Walk Talk America Guns and Mental Health podcast. What's going on, Kevin?
Not much. Doing good. Whack a sweep with the puppy, but other than that, doing good.
Kevin got a puppy, and it is an adorable puppy. Kevin also has very young children. So you like to complicate life, Kevin. It's good. Keeps you
Yeah,
on your
when the
toes.
when the almost 2-year-old doesn't wake the puppy wakes up the almost 2-year-old. It's fun.
Yeah, I bet. Well, today we're going to talk about something fun, I think is fun. Matter of fact, like last night, I was talking to my daughter and she was like, "Who do you have on the podcast tomorrow?" And I was like, "Somebody who owns a bulletproof clothing company." And my daughter was so intrigued that she said, "Well, what's her name?" And then she saw you and she goes, "She's beautiful." And then she started looking at your clothing and she's like, "Wow, this is really stylish." And it just sparked like 75,000 questions. And I was like, "You should tune into the show, kid." But summer break, so she's not tuning into the show. But I'd like to welcome Kami Kay Kirschbaum, founder and CEO of Civilian, a clothing company that is bulletproof. You don't hear that every day. How
Yeah,
are you?
I'm doing great. Yeah, that's so cute. And I love like about your daughter and I love that she it inspires people and so sweet. So I appreciate it. She should listen to this whenever because I'm sure we'll
She
get
will.
into all of that. Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
thanks for
so
having me. I'm doing great.
yeah, absolutely. And I actually just met you in person a couple of weeks ago at the NSSF Marketing and Leadership Conference. We had kind of touched base before because Jay Hood, one of WTTA's uh, members, like had reached out to you to talk about maybe doing some joint stuff. Like, you're obviously in the security business in a sense, right? Like safety, security, like that type of thing. It kind of all overlaps. But why don't you start off? Because just like last night when I was talking to my daughter, I feel like what you do, like if someone met you at a bar or a cafe and they were making small talk and they were like, "Yeah, what do you do for a living, Cammy?" And you just started to, "Yeah, I own this," right? I think that's going to spark a million people are going to be curious because you don't meet people like this every day, right? Like it's just like when I owned a gun importer, like you don't. So why don't you talk about the company, why you started it, the history? I mean, we want to hear it all.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm actually sitting right now in Stockholm, Sweden. I moved here 7 years ago, but I'm, full blood American, whatever that means. European hybrid mutt, like most Americans, but born in Detroit, raised in Pittsburgh. With that, I mean, when my mom was growing up, Detroit was like the murder capital of the world. And so like, yeah, used to this like violence and I grew up doing active shooter drills in school. Like I'm 25 years old and that like there I talked to a 27-year-old yesterday and I was like, "Did you ever do this?" She went to public school. She's like, "No, we never." Like, so I'm literally, I think, one of the first, generations or whatever to start to have done active shooter drills throughout my entire like schooling, and everyone under me is doing that, which means millions of Americans and kids are doing it, right? So there's going to be more of an awareness coming more and more now. And so, anyways, I had that experience, and when I was 15, I actually lost a friend to gun violence as well. So, but I mean, we were not a big, like, my family was not really into, my dad was a pastor, mom was like a caregiver. So we weren't like really into like defense or safety, but I would just say that this world, kind of like, it just happened. It kept, I don't know, it just, we would do homeless ministry every Sunday downtown Pittsburgh, and that was a lot of violence. So I don't know, just being put in these situations, turning on the news, all of this stuff, kind of shaped this experience. But meanwhile, I was cutting hair. I mean, my background's in hairdressing. I did hair, bit of marketing, social media management. But so all that to say, this idea to start making bulletproof clothing came to me like last July. I don't know, kind of after Trump got shot. Well, it's really weird. Okay, so it started like this. I literally had a dream, and this is before I've seen John Wick or anything like this. I had a dream that like that there was bulletproof clothing, and I like woke up, told my husband, I was like, I had this dream last night. He's like, yeah, that's crazy, but like we'll just like sit on it, put it on the back burner. Then 2 weeks later, we're in the States visiting family. Like Butler, PA is where it happened. Trump gets shot, And I look at him, I'm just like, I have to do that. I'm gonna do civilian now. But it wasn't civilian then. It was like I had so many names, I had so many iterations. It's hilarious looking back at like just me trying to create it with us finally launching in November. So we of last year. So yeah, it's been such a journey. There's been literally having to add in American manufacturers. All like it's been insane last 6 months, but it's been so fun and so rewarding. And I'm a little scared at how much I'm falling in love with the industry right now.
Mm.
It's a little scary to be honest.
Yeah, that's cool. That's an interesting origin story, and I'm sure there was like a huge steep learning curve, right? Like, I mean, it's like I wouldn't know what to do if I had a dream like that, and I was like, okay, I want to start this clothing line. I mean, there's, I'm curious, like, were you like, we have to make this stylish? Because I mean, if you go to the website, it's like fashion modeling. You know what I mean? Like it's something different. And I think it's something that people, if they said, "Oh, bullet," you always think of the standard bulletproof vest, but how does this all come together? Like, what were you just like? Okay, who do I call first? How do I make this happen?
Yeah, like okay, so that's another part of the story is like whenever you are looking for options, right? Everything out there is tactical. It's like that exists. There are a million tactical companies. If you want a tactical looking bulletproof vest, don't buy civilian. Like we are lifestyle. So yeah, it needed to look good. I think that comes from my picky hairdressing. I know how to make things look good. I know how to make things look beautiful. It's all I've done my whole life. I mean, I paint, like it needs to look great. And like I studied I'm about to graduate. Actually, I've been studying marketing full time as well during this. So I graduate in 2 weeks. And my focus was like on branding. Like I loved branding so much. So I'm a branding nerd. So like that's why I like it to look insanely good, but also the first call was hilarious. So I wanted to work with this one material called Denima, which is like the world's strongest fiber. Have you heard of it before? It's like a fiber. It's a strong fiber. They make like parachute lines with it. They make like sailing, a lot of outdoor equipment uses Denima. It's really cool. So it's really thin as well. So what they do to make it bulletproof is they layer it like 30 times, and then they press it. So, yeah, like I called Danema in North Carolina, and I'm still living in Sweden at this time, and are like, yeah, how many kilometers do you want of the product? And it's also like thin, and I'm like, right, 0, because I have no money. I've started this company as a student, like literally no money, no investment, like the hustle, okay? And so then they're like, but call our people in the Netherlands. And so I called the Netherlands. They're like, yeah, but you should talk to our people in Finland because you're in Sweden. So I call this company in Finland that works with it, which they are still a manufacturer of ours, but they fill global orders, and my US manufacturer fills US orders. So, anyways, I go to Finland. um, yeah, I'm gonna share the whole story because it's it's crazy.
Please,
So I go
please.
there,
This is we. It's
dude.
fascinating. Go ahead.
I have to take a boat there from Stockholm, so I take an overnight boat to Finland, and then it's in the middle. It's like in the middle of the country as well. So then I take a boat, and then I take like an hour. No, it's such a long story, but it was horrible getting to the office. Okay, like the rental car didn't work out. I had to take a bus and then a cab for like $150 through the Finnish countryside, like just for this first meeting that I've never, like, I don't know anything at this point. But I go with a pitch deck in mind of them to prototype with me for me to open the US market for them. So I was like, if you guys prototype with me, like I'll help you open the US market. So they're like, okay, because bulletproof clothing is really expensive to make, and they're doing like huge defense contracts. Like they do Swedish military, French military, German. Like they have no like consumer facing products. They're all like, but they really know what they're doing. So we designed this together, and then they brought them. I had to go back to Finland another time to check on the designs, and I forced that meeting to happen, and that was crazy. They were like, um, no, we're busy, no, we're busy, like no, like it's before the holidays. Like I was like, I need 20 minutes to look at the prototypes before you ship them to the US because they were going to be at SHOT Show for the first time, like debuting. And I'm like, I need like to have my eye on it before it goes. Like I'm not showing up blindly here. Okay, so I go, and this was a boat again, and then this was an even more insane travel because like, again, rental car didn't work, but it was like literally 42 hours of travel for me to be at the office for 20 minutes. Turns out they look good, everything was fine, but then they shipped them to the US because they were at SHOT Show as well. So yeah, and then SHOT Show has its own story as
Wait,
well. But
so
I mean,
you're at Shot Show. You're at Shot Show,
mhm.
and you're totally new to this industry. Are you looking around and being like, "Oh my god, like this is"? I mean, for every listener that's been to Shot Show right now is understands what I'm talking about. Like when you see these $300,000 booths and things like that, and
Oh my God. Yeah, I was like big time. I had no idea what I was getting into. I know it was big. I know it was like 80,000 attendees or whatever. And I really did try to like prepare my best for it, but it will blow you away no matter like some things you just can't prepare for. So I show up, it's like me and what feels like 80,000 men who like are obsessed with
and it
guns.
was, and it was.
Yeah. So I'm like, what the heck do I do? Like, and so my main goal was like, okay, is there a spot at the table for a civilian? That was like my main question. It's like, is there room for us in this industry? Like, is there actually a need that we can fill? Um, Turns out there is. Like, again, I didn't see anybody doing what we're doing. Doesn't see anybody that looks anything like to us. I mean, it's like brands might be a little brutal, but it's like they copy each other on, styles, and Civilian is very distinct in its look. So first of all, like, and the clothing aspect, of course, like we do exclusively clothing. We just launched vest only. That was like last week. So yeah, so I learned that, but I was completely alone. I had my head of sales flying in from Pittsburgh, but he was a little late, so I was there a couple days by myself. And then I don't like again didn't know one person, and just show up to the mingles and try to talk to people and stuff. But it was really hard to get in. Like it was really hard to be taken seriously as well. Like and I get it, but that was a struggle. I was calling my husband crying like speaking Swedish, like what the heck am I doing here? Like what's going on? It was truly a journey. In my Finnish manufacturers, I thought that we would go, get dinner together, and stuff, but they were kind of like doing their own thing, like without me. So that wasn't like that fun either. The only people that I knew like weren't including me on anything. So it was tough, Then I think so the night that Jeremy's coming in, he's about to fly in. I was gonna have dinner with with a partner, but they canceled last minute, and I was really disappointed because I was like, Jeremy is coming. He's spending all of his own money to come out here, and I have nothing for us to do tonight. I've absolutely nothing. Like I need to make something happen. And it's all about networking when you're there. Like every second is like you should have a meeting, you should have a dinner, like make it happen while everybody is here. So I'm like, I'm not gonna go sit in my room or like, what am I gonna do? So these two guys that I met the night before were like, we're going to this guns.com party. Like, we don't think you're gonna get in because it's like really tight list, and like it's like invite only and stuff, but like you can try to come if you want, but we just want to warn you, it's like a 20-minute walk. We don't want to waste your time. I was like, okay, I have nothing to lose. Let's go. So I go and I'm at the door, and these two people like get in and leave me immediately at the door. So the lady looks at me and she's like, "Who are you with?" And I was like, "Well, I'm with those guys." And she's like, "Yeah, okay, but like, who do you know?" in there? I was like, I don't know, literally anybody in there. And she's like, I was like, but please, please let me in. Like, I'm begging her. And she's like, fine, you can get in. Like, that's it. I was like, all right, thank you. I was like, I need a +1 because I have Jeremy coming. He's
No,
landing in 20 minutes. Yeah, so I was like, I really need a +1. She's like, one, that's it. Like she's so strict. No, I get in, I'm super happy. I haven't seen Jeremy in like 7 years. We've known each other for a really long time. And he's like a competitive shooter, so he really knows like the industry a lot, which was great to have him there. But yeah, so I snuck into the guns.com party this year, and then yeah, it was great. And I'll just finish this story. It was amazing. Like, so I was just super happy to be there. Jeremy comes up eventually, and in the elevator on the way up, um, the elevator with all the Cordova guys, and I'm like, oh, what do you guys do? And they're like, oh, we're with Cordova, and I go, no way. I have been trying to get a hold of you for months, because Klarna has denied me like a lot of like buy now pay later has like they didn't want to work with us because of the product and we're new and whatever, you know. But I go, no way. I've been trying to get a hold of you guys for months, and I just start like Brian describes it as me being on fire, and he's like, dude, you're just on fire. Um, and now like yeah, he's like, no, like take my card, we'll meet next week. Like, what are you talking about? Of course we'll fix it, you know. So that was awesome. That was like literally on the elevator ride up to the party. It like things changed immediately. It was insane. So I was just super happy to be there. And then yeah, at the end of the night, I meet Greg, the CEO of guns.com, and he's like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I was like, "I make bulletproof clothing. What do you do?" I work for guns.com, which I love, and I love like no, it was insane because I haven't what do you guys think?
no, I just say once again, I make bulletproof clothing. What do you do? No, but by the way, for the listeners that don't know who Cordova is, that's a credit card processor that, you know, in this industry, it's tough to get, especially when you do anything firearms related. It is really tough to get a credit card processor. And if you don't have a credit card processor, I mean, that's like a huge dent in your business. So anyways, continue. But I just wanted to clarify what
Yeah,
that was because it's unique
yeah,
that that happened for you at the party, right? Like everything is now falling into place. Um,
yeah.
and you're making connections by going out and having a couple drinks, right? Like that's how this industry is.
Yeah, it's crazy how the business happens after hours, always. Like you can try whatever you want to do during the day. Honestly, everybody's waiting to let loose a little bit and just chill and take it easy and get to know people like for who they are, you know? So, you know, like turns out months of emailing professionally during business hours does nothing compared to a 20-second elevator ride. What the heck, you know? But yeah, Cordova, they are amazing. They got you know, bought by Public Square now, and we're also like selling on Public Square, but they're Brian and yeah, I mean, we were just with them the whole crew last week, and they're just they're so much fun. And they work hard, they play hard. Great people. I mean, so many great people in this industry. It's
And
crazy.
the guns.com people. I mean, everybody from
Mm,
guns.com has tremendously
yeah.
helped Walk the Talk America and been a huge supporter of ours. And everybody there is like salt of the earth. And what you're going to learn as a civilian grows and the more years you get behind you, the industry, the people, they don't change. It's just the banner behind them. Like you're going to see the
Oh,
same
yeah.
people over and over again with yes, we literally just jump from company to company. I mean, it's like a giant traveling circus. It's a
Yeah.
fascinating industry, you know, because I was like you when I first got into it. I didn't have like a background in shooting sports or shooting at all, right? Like I kind of came in, I got my job through nepotism, and basically it was the industry's welcomeness, like, hey, like I'll teach you all the
Mm,
stuff you don't know, or just stick with me, kid, like that type of
yeah.
thing, you know. So it's a great
Yeah.
industry, it's a really cool industry, and you're coming at it from like a very unique perspective, you know, like you're doing something that, like I said, I've never I've never seen before. I mean, I've seen armor, but like you said, it's all the same. It's all tactical. It doesn't appeal to someone who wants to be stylish and protect
Mm,
themselves, you know?
mm.
So,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
so you wrap up SHOT Show, and then you're coming back to SHOT Show, you get back to Sweden, and what's your mind frame like? Are you just on cloud nine?
Well, actually, I took like a 6 week trip in the US after shot. So I kind of did a little tour, like I visited my dad he lives in the Rockies. So I got the shot show sickness. I thought I wouldn't. I get sick the first day, lose my voice. Probably also why it was hard for me. It sounded like a crackhead, the whole week as well. So that didn't help anything. But anyway, I go see my dad, telling him all this stuff. He's like, "Oh my God, what are you up to?" And yeah, have those meetings, like, so I'm working and visiting family basically, and then Greg invites me to go. Greg is an advisor now for civilian, and so is Brian, so they're both like on our board and helping like advise. So that's how crazy that night was as well. But working with them, Greg invites me to go to the NRA headquarters with him in DC, so we do that, and then like throughout this I'm visiting family and everything, but I and strong in DC. And then yeah, I had come home to Sweden after like what is literally a life-changing trip, right? So come back, I'm like, I have so much work to do. Yeah, the NRA, that was a good time. I don't know if you know like JP over there, but they're also really cool. Like new, I guess, new leadership and stuff like that. So JP is great. And yeah, like it was I come back, I have a lot of work to do. I'm hearing whispers of tariffs, and a lot of the feedback I got was that, we needed to be US made. And I also met with a really great like lobbying firm in Cap 6 advisors. They're at DC. I had 2 meetings that day. So Phil's an incredible guy as well. But yeah, so he told me, like, he gave me a lot of good bits of advice. He's like, these are carriers, like frame them as carriers, and also you need to be made in the US. Again, if you want to be taken seriously or if you want to like break through the market here. So I start looking for US manufacturers for the body armor. Very picky about the design. They need to be like, this is also a challenge. You need to know exactly what I'm going to do with your materials. You need to know, the designs. We're working now on jackets. I want to do a bulletproof dress. Like, you know, this is a hard to find the right people who are just like, will let me run wild and prototype new crazy ideas and can handle it. So start looking around. Some people are like, oh, you have to like pay $10,000 to work with us or to be like a partner. And I'm like, again, student, brand new, it's like, okay. So then we find Citizen Armor, which is our new US manufacturer. They're in Utah. Great people. Yeah, been around for a couple years, really familiar with the industry, and just like, yeah, can also order one of ones. So Finland gave me some high MOQs, like minimum order quantity, that I like in order values that made it just really hard to like work with them in the US. If I need 100 and then I need to ship it on a boat to, Texas, and then wait, and then tariffs are happening, and then, you know what I mean, and then
Mhm.
shipping containers and pallets and 100 shirts minimum. I was like, all right. So it's like order on our website, use this code, like that's it. Then you have your stuff, and we assemble them in Pittsburgh. So Jeremy does that in Pittsburgh, but Um, yeah, so I needed to nail a US manufacturer down. And we did that, and it went live the week before the tariffs hit. So that was insane.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty fortunate, right? For you to kind of set that up right before that happened, because it is expensive, right? I don't think anybody goes to that website. I mean, my daughter, when she went to the website at first, she's like, wow, these are really expensive, and it's like, who can afford this? I'm like, well, people can, right? Like, there's a market for everything, and then eventually that price will come down as you get volume and those type of things. But so right now, though, you are particularly just selling to consumers. That's your main customer right now. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. So it's mostly people that find the website.
Yeah, exactly. Our main demographic has quickly become women, because we have cup sizes, which again nobody else has. So we design for women and men. A lot of companies are just designing for men. So we have like curved plate. We have more women in war and in dangerous situations than ever before. This was another thing that was really hard. It was really picky about in my manufacturing. It's like you need to be really good with the women's design. So yeah, it's expensive, but that's why we're going. I mean, that Cordova, we're about to launch with them within the next week or so. Buy now, pay later. But this is like for the if you want to start with a lower entry product, you can get a vest, and that will be, but if you want like a carrier, discreet carrier, yeah, it's a lot of cost to make it. So, yeah. And then we need to be able to work with partners. They want to take something, so that final price is so everybody can win, really. And what does your life cost? I don't know. Like that's also the question when paying for this stuff, you know?
Exactly. And I think that's the most important thing. Like, listen, it's funny what in my life, like the way I look at life, right? Like, first of all, I compare everything to drinks in Las Vegas. I'm like, oh, that's only like 5 drinks at the bar in Las Vegas, right? Like his drinks are like $25, right? But like that's
Yeah,
my comparison baseline. But then it's my want, right? So I'll go cheap somewhere like in this part of my life. But if you find me in this part of life, like where it's like something I'm interested in, money is no object, right? Like, so, and
sure,
like you said,
sure.
how much is your life worth, right? Like, I know you want to help people because I overheard you talking at the marketing and leadership conference, and you had said something to the effect of like homeless people, and you were like, I wish that we can kind of give them this clothing. And it's kind of funny because I was sitting there with Kenny Barlow from Regal, and I was like, where's she going with this? And he's like, I have no idea. And I asked you a question, and you kind of clarified where you're like, there's so many stabbings, right? Like there's so many
Yeah.
stabbings that happen. So this isn't just a bulletproof issue, right? Like this is your safety. There's so many applications to this. And that's why I'm wondering, like, it, I kind of want to talk about the legality of, like bulletproof clothing or armor because it's different all over the world, and it's different in the United States too. Not just, you can't just have armor. I think in Nevada you can, but what
Hmm.
is that like?
So there's really funny laws around body armor, but it's legal. I mean, it's legal in every state except New York, which is so sad because there's so much. I mean, there's been so many shootings recently in the subways, stabbings all the time. Are you kidding? Like New York needs it bad. I think Connecticut also has some strange laws about it. Like you can't wear it, but if you follow the same logic of like the government should have guns, so we should have guns. The government has body armor, so we should have body armor, right? And you should be prepared for these situations. Like if you conceal carry, for example, like do you ever plan to use it? Okay, then what happens if you get shot at, right? So that's some of the logic. The legality is like it is illegal to wear and own in every state except New York and Connecticut. They I was gonna say yeah, for if so it's illegal to wear body armor while committing a crime. Whatever that means. If you're gonna commit a crime, it's illegal to wear body armor while you do that. And it's yeah, so that's really strange. You essentially get a longer sentence if you get caught in a crime and you're wearing body armor as well. So that is that's what we're working with.
Yeah, I wonder, your clothes are stylish and they look like regular clothing. Somebody actually in the comments said, this is funny. Sees like, it looks like a lot of gangster rappers would love this clothes. But I mean, that would be the best endorsement of this guy. So if you're a gangster rapper and you're listening to this show, absolutely, I'll fit you in civilian because, like I said,
Oh
I think
yeah.
yeah, I think it's like people knowing the products out there and actually knowing this exists. Because, like I said, I think everybody's in that same mind frame is, it's all goofy and clunky and you know, heavy and things like that. So I also kind of want to talk about like the material and how you get it passed. I know there's a process, correct? Like it's like anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So the NIJ, the National Institute of Justice, has their own way of how they test. So, we're level 3A, and that is can stop up to 44 Magnum. So it basically can stop most handguns. It's soft armor. Um, It's not going to stop rifle rounds or any exotic ammo. So you have to like, yeah, but most handguns, threats it will stop. But yeah, up to 44 mag. That's the NIJ 3A level. But NIJ is changing now to, yeah, HG2 as a new standard. But all of our testing is done, yeah, by a lab, and I think in Utah as well. But yeah, we're actually working on posting I want to just post the lab results straight on the website so people can see like exactly how many rounds it stopped. I mean, the NIJ standard now is that it should stop 5 rounds, or yeah, 5 rounds. So, but there's a video on our website of it taking a 80 round mag dump, so it works.
Yeah, we just posted that in the chat. I watched the video last
Perfect.
night with my daughter because I wanted to show her. Because, like I said, I think a lot of people have a curiosity when it comes to this stuff. Like, hey, does it really work? And
Hmm.
it's hard to imagine. And then it begs the discussion. Like, I was sitting there talking with her and a family friend, and I was like, "Would you let somebody shoot you with it to test it out?" Right? And my daughter's like, "I would for the right price." But
Hey, got a little businesswoman there.
right? Like what's the so you're studying marketing, and obviously marketing is going to play a huge part of the success in this, right? Like what is the marketing strategy and rollout that you had for it? Or did you always visualize it like you have it now, or has that kind of been a work in progress?
Yeah, like I wish I could share my like the first iterations. I was gonna, yeah, like it started really close to home with like my friend who passed away, right? And I was gonna try to do something around that, and then I was like, no, I don't ever want people to think that I'm trying to monetize that. Now I'm just speaking super freely, but I had to come around to like, um, then I went like tried to go like trying to serve the American market of like outlawed, like should it be like a cowboy thing? I was like, that will never, what I mean? Like, that doesn't appeal to everybody. I need something that, like, okay, I'm designing for civilians. I'm designing for everyday solutions. Like, it needs to be insanely clear in the messaging. You know what I mean? Like, who am I serving? And of course, we can fulfill, law enforcement contracts and military deals. That's a part of our business plan as well. It's a business area we have. But, and schools, of course, like public and private schools. We also have, like, we're also selling to them and civilians. So I just needed it to stand out, be accurate in the name, simple. So yeah, that's where civilian was born. It was like, and if you Google civilian, the first images that come up is like a guy half dressed, and this is not us. This is a campaign that was done a while ago. um, it's a guy half dressed in military and a guy half dressed in normal clothes. And whenever I saw that picture, I was like, exactly, that's our name then. Like that's exactly what we are doing. It's like that you can have the military grade protection, but look like you're just wearing a black t-shirt. Like that's exactly what we need to do.
I want to go back to something you said earlier. Part of the inspiration for this was having that discussion about school shootings, like drills, right? The school
Mm.
shooting drills. Um, when you used to do those drills as a kid, did it scare you? Like, did it freak you out? Like, what was the reaction you got to the drills?
Oh yeah, it was really terrifying, but also kids, they say like kids are resilient, or kids are, really, they can handle a lot. And of course they can, you know, oh, there's so much to be said on this, but yeah, like yeah, it was terrifying and it was really surreal. And um, our school had a couple instances where we had active shooters on campus. And I went to school. It's not like I went to school in like the ghetto. I mean, kind of. It's kind of close to the ghetto. But yeah, yeah, it is. But like, cause
How
we
old
lived
were
in like,
you?
I was started
Was it
when I was
like
like 7,
elementary
I think.
school? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, in
Because
elementary
I had
school we
one in
started with
high
them.
school, but I was obviously much older. I could see it being in elementary school being a totally different experience.
Yeah, like you did tornado drills, or you did like a fire drill, and then you do active shooter drills. Like those are what you need to be prepared for, and we know that schools are going to be targeted. Like from history, we know that schools are going to be targeted, so it's a no-brainer that they should have armor, body armor, and like 30 hoodies in every classroom in America. Because like I was there, now there are products which are I respect and are good that are like a bulletproof backpack, which is like, okay, it's a plate in a backpack. There are kids who don't know how to tie their shoes, right? Like if you ever met a kid, you know, you can't expect it to defend its life with a backpack. And that's only one angle. That's if best case scenario, they're running away from an active shooter and they have their backpack on and they get shot at the back and they can continue running. But like, this is what I see in the industries. Like people are not designing for like human situations and like real world scenarios, right? Like if a kid can't tie his shoes, it's not going to know how to do that. So, but does a kid know how to put on a hoodie? Yes. Great. Then you have front and back protection, for example, so like we had this, I've studied like human-centered design and that like things should be made around humans and centered for humans. And I think that's really helped like how I've created this brand and why I've created it.
Yeah. It's funny. My daughters used to have active shooting drills, and I had one daughter that went to public school, and I had one that went to private school. And I remember like having discussions with them because they always come back and, because obviously they knew their father worked in guns and firearms, all this stuff, right? So they'd come home and I would ask them how they felt about it. And then I would ask them things like, did they teach you about fentanyl? And they're like, what is that? And I'm like, I wish they had fentanyl drills, like literally, because that's what's really going to kill you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it's kind of crazy how we overload kids with fear on all these things. But I do love that idea of doing whatever it takes to protect children, right? Like, I think that the gloves should be off when it comes to that. And like, when you say like bulletproof hoodies, I think that's brilliant. I absolutely love that. You know what I mean? I think it's something easy that a kid could slip on. They always had their bulletproof hoodie on them. And that kind of like, I had a thought about this because I'm like, okay, everything on the website now, and I know you got to crawl before you walk and then before you run, but like, does that stuff come in different colors? Like, can it come in like, if the school's red, could you have red hoodies that have just the school logo on them?
for sure. Yeah, like we could do so much customization on it. I won't sell like, I don't know. So, okay, I love the black hoodie and I love tan. Kind of how, like, for myself, I kind of like hate the color white on, like, I like a white clean t-shirt, but like a white hoodie, there's something about it that's just like, I don't know. I can't do it. It's too white almost, So I like the beige. It's kind of more like it's more luxurious feeling, I think. But yeah, like customization is like 100% possible. So like if we do, you know what I mean, if we're gonna work with even like building out some of these gun manufacturing civilian facing products, like we put their logo on it, like yeah, we can white label and all that good stuff for sure.
Okay, so that's definitely a possibility one day to kind of get into children's clothing and things like that, because I think that would be a huge hit,
Mhm.
right? I mean, if you could
Yeah.
afford it and you could send your kids to school with that, I mean, why
hmm
wouldn't you? Especially
Yeah.
if it was fashionable.
Right. And I think like and I would love for the schools to pay that for this though. I know that like I don't know, I think like parents could absolutely take some of it, but like a private school saying like we have bulletproof hoodies here, you know what I mean? You don't need to give them to the kids. They can just sit, the school can own them. It could be school property. You know what I mean? Like, and in case of emergencies, I mean, who would not want that? And public schools as well, like they get all types of grants for safety and you know what I mean for all of this stuff. I really think, but maybe that's me loving to put responsibility on the school and not on individuals, which I think, yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
No, I mean, I see the application of, the school paying for it through some sort of state grant. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased when it comes to that stuff, right? Because I look at all the money we spend in other places and I'm like, well, why can't we spend, I Walk the Talk America is all about out of the box ideas on what we can spend government money on. And we're fair to everybody. Like we understand that people are like, I don't want my tax dollars going here, but I'm like, would you rather have your tax dollars going here? That's something that benefits people that are in shooting sports and these issues when it comes to negative outcomes of firearms, or would you rather have it just going somewhere that's anti, right? And to me, like Bulletproof hoodies, I'm down. Like, let's estate proof for it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
The only barrier would be the cost. It seemed like maybe to get all the classrooms and like almost like the life jackets on a cruise ship, it might be a little intimidating, but it makes sense. What are the different like messaging and different markets as far as being overseas, maybe the people interested versus the United States market? How do those differ?
Well, like you need to have a gun in Sweden, for example, you need a hunting license. So there's not a lot. I mean, there has been more and more shooting. Sweden, unfortunately, just had its first school shooting like when I was in the States now, the last time or no, the time before that. So early this year. And that was it's really heartbreaking. So things are getting I would say there's a lot more stabbings here. If you want to hurt people, you're gonna hurt people. So London, South London, there's a place called Stab City. I had a girl who lives there interview me. She's like, "Yeah, I live across the street from Stab Park." I didn't know that I wouldn't sign up to like she didn't know that until she moved there. But she's walking home every night through Stab Park. Like, okay, so there are some really rough areas here. There's not a lot of like, there's not. Yeah, I feel like I'm building a huge ship, like a huge ark, in the middle of the desert. Okay, so it's like it feels so crazy what I'm building, and it feels so out of touch here. But of course, there are like, I mean, we've just opened our market and the partnership in like Africa, Middle East, like U.S. friendly Middle Eastern countries, like UK. We've just opened those markets with a partnership with and Dubai. So like, but that will be more like government facing stuff, like at embassies. But yeah, like in the US, I can see like Secret Service really needs this. I got sent a picture of JD Vance's kids last week with a Secret Service agent next to them who looks exactly like a Secret Service agent, right? And these guys have to go scope venues before things happen. Like if you know their daily life, like they should look like civilians. They should be blending in. They should be, and the guy is like, why is Secret Service not wearing civilian? Like, what are they doing? I'm like, I know. So it's a matter of them knowing about it, right? And making that happen. So we'll be working on that soon as well. Yeah. And then the US market, we own like 43% of the world's guns, I believe, if I have it right. So there's a lot more guns. There's a lot more gun violence. And by the way, I'm insanely pro gun, just so you guys know. I think it's more safe now and like with more guns. So anyway, then you have a need for body armor, right? And again, like if you follow the logic, if the government has guns, would you also like a gun? If the government has body armor, would you also like body armor? So I think it's just about like asking the right questions in the messaging. Like the messaging has been we're not scaring people into buying our product. If you like we want people to just feel safer as they're buying our products, not that they are scared for their life, right? Does
Yeah,
that
no,
answer
that
your
makes
question?
sense.
Yeah, it makes sense how like the stabbing and knife violence is more the messaging for overseas and then firearms in the US.
Yeah, I was thinking the application for even, if you walk down the strip or you go to Fremont Street, right? There's Metro has a lot of undercover cops, right? And, this is the perfect clothing just to kind of blend into the crowd, right? But having said that, like, let's talk about that clothing itself. Like, what are we looking at as for weight and kind of how does it flow, airflow? Like, I mean, obviously we can see the pictures on the website, but there's nothing like actually having it on and you've tried it on. So
Yeah. Yeah, and I've done a lot of testing. Like I've had female cops tell me like sit in a car with this for 8 hours and see how you feel. Is it comfortable? Can like that's what we do, or try to outrun a bad guy while wearing like, try running with this for 5 minutes. How does it feel? So on like yeah, for like police academies and stuff, like we've definitely done that research, but it's weighs less than 3 pounds. It is like as thin as a Sharpie, perhaps. You can see those images on our website, and it's super flexible and like breathable. Yes, like the clothing, I mean, it's essentially you can see on our website, like essentially a carrier. It's like the world's most discreet carrier that you'll find. So I would say it's very comfortable for how much I've worn it, and people's reactions when they have it on is so funny. Like they're like, "Oh, it's so light." Like you can see on our website at the tech specs and all of that that it's like it's this is a product that can stop 44 Magnum but weighs less than 3 pounds, and it's the armor itself. The plates are like basically as thin as a pencil.
What are some of the, because we all get them. Okay. Like Walk Talk America gets it all the time. Like what are some of the negative, like naysayers say, like what are the things you've heard that are either absolutely not true or
Yeah, I think like people are like, they get really upset that this product even has to exist,
mm,
and so that comes out on me a lot of the time whenever I'm trying to protect people. That comes out on me, like, whenever I'm, like, it's the comments. Go read all the comments. It's like, I can't believe the U.S. needs this, only in America. Only the U.S. would need this. And maybe you should leave the country, or maybe you should change countries, or you know what I mean? Like stuff like that, like comes out on us a lot. Just like the whole ideology around civilians needing body armor. So that's like some objections or whatever that we get a lot. And I always just like, I did not create this world. I'm creating a solution, not the problem, right? And I could do like whatever I want with my life, right? So I don't have to deliver the solution, but I really feel the need to. So what I'm trying to say is like, I'm not trying to benefit off of like this. I see an obvious solution that I'm trying to fill a need in the world with. And I'm not advocating for more shootings, or I'm not like advocating for this, but this is where we're at. So like Brian Thompson, the United Healthcare CEO who got shot in New York this year, we could have stopped that with what he was shot with and where he was shot. And he had a heads up that he got threatened, so it's like I don't create this world. I just design the solution for it, really. But it's really easy to like throw out comments from your couch or wherever you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I like, to me, the answer to that when someone says something like that, I would be like, I love that we live in a world where you could say something so privileged, like to be like, I don't need safety or armor. I mean, I want to live
right.
there too. I doubt it exists. It sounds like a clown world or a cartoon world, as Dr. Conti would say. You know what I mean? Yep, exactly. But it is what it is. I mean, you're going to get people that just say those things and I think they mean well, right? Like, I think they do genuinely mean well, because nobody wants to live in a world where like people can walk outside and die. Your brain can't wrap around that. But I remember like when my daughter first went to private school and they had, armed guard in the front. And I remember one of my friends was like,
Mm.
doesn't it suck that your daughter has to go to school with an armed guard? And I was like, I want my daughter to go to a school with anti-aircraft guns on top of it. Like cannons. Like, I want her to be the safest person in the world.
Sure. That's such a good
Yeah.
response. That is such a good response,
Yeah.
dude.
I just like, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We have
Fluffy bunny
seatbelts.
arsenal. So we have seatbelts, right? And motorcycle helmets, right? Like, you're right. Exactly. It falls right in line in that same type of thinking. Like, be prepared, stay ready,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you never know what's going to happen. And it's not even like maybe you're not the intended target. Maybe somebody tried to shoot at a CEO and missed, and it hits you, right? But like, nothing wrong with
Oh
having
my
that.
God. Sure, that happens all the time in Sweden here. They always get the wrong person and these like gang violence stuff. Like it's almost comical how bad they are. They never get the right person, and that's scary as well. But yeah, I mean, exactly this it's so sad that we have to live in a world with helmets. It's like, no, it's not. It's not. It's not sad when people are more safe. It's just not. Like, awesome. Thank you
Yehuda is
guys.
here. What's up, Yehuda? Long time
Yehuda.
Walk the Talk America family member.
Aw.
So what's next for the company? Like, what's the next steps? Obviously, you just came back from a trip from the United States. We're at the Marketing Leadership Conference. You're making connections. You're meeting more people. You're on the greatest podcast in the United States right now as we speak. Yes, sir. What is next for the company, and where do you see it going?
Yeah, so now we're in a fun area where we're going to yeah, like next 6 months is heavily focused on breaking through the consumer market. And we're launching with guns.com in like 2 weeks. We're gonna be their first apparel partner. So that has been awesome. I mean, now we got that made in the US stamp. We're gonna be live on guns.com, and that marketing rollout is so fun. We just finalized it this week. They wrote a piece on us yesterday. We're gonna be in their newsletter on Sunday, and like we are like gonna be live with the vest with them, a co-branded vest with our manufacturer. So that'll be awesome. They're gonna do some. They're gonna shoot our product as well, which is what everybody wants to do whenever they get it. But guys, it's NIJ3A, which means it's been shot a lot already. But this summer, specifically, we're gonna be doing a Kickstarter campaign, which will be incredible. Like I said, we are 100% female founded and owned right now. So we're going to be doing a Kickstarter campaign with a lot of different tiers that are going to be incredible. And I'm so pumped for all, like, yeah, a little bit of merch, but also a little bit of like SHOT Show exclusives. Yeah, it's a good time, and we're, yeah, breaking into the consumer market. We're going to be launching a Kickstarter campaign, which I want you all to follow and join if you can, and just, yeah, just come along for the ride. I promise it'll be a good story, if nothing else. Okay.
So, will you be attending? You're going to do SHOT Show obviously next year.
Yeah.
There's consumer shows, right? Like the NRA show. There's which
Yeah.
is a big show. I mean, I guess you could, you just started, so you got to cherry pick the right ones. But one show that I like really pops in my head, I think would be pretty cool to see you at. It would be the EWA show, which is in Germany, which is
Right.
like
When
SHOT
is
Show in
that?
Europe. That's in March.
Yeah. But yeah, we should totally go there. I mean, it'd be so easy. Do you go to that?
I used to go. Now that I do guns and mental health in the United States, it doesn't really make sense. But when I used to own I used to work with foreign manufacturers and I owned an importer. I was always there every year. But it's like SHOT Show for Europe, and it's just a totally different vibe. But once again, it's just that exposure that I think your
Mm-hmm.
company would get from attending that. And obviously, Europe is small and tight, right? Like you can get to places pretty easy, as opposed to you flying all the way over to the United States. But I just think. That's going to open up so many markets for you, like worldwide.
Yep.
Yeah, it should be pretty
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah, we would love to be there. It's like a no-brainer. We'll be there. We'll be at the NASGW show. It's like a distributor show, probably in October,
I'll be there.
as
Yeah,
well.
I'll be there.
Okay, awesome. Okay, great.
That's
Yeah,
a very small show though. That's a very tiny
yeah,
show. If you come off SHOT Show and then you go to NASGW, you're going to be like, it feels like it's in one little like banquet. But that
yeah,
all the players and the heavy hitters of the distribution and a lot of the manufacturers are there, so it's going to be a great networking show for you.
yeah,
But it's very quiet.
yeah.
You'll like it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure it'll be great. Like sometimes less is more. It's like you need to be a company for 3 years to even get in. So I got in through some friends at Taurus. So that'll be nice. We'll go do that, and
Will
then
you have your own booth? Will you
distribution.
have your own booth there, or are you just gonna be walking around?
No, just walking it. Yeah, we're
Okay.
not. You need to be existing for 3 years to be able to join that network.
Okay. I didn't know if
So
Taurus was
yeah.
maybe giving you like a little section of their booth, right?
Well, hey, probably we could probably just like we're working together now, so we'll probably maybe they'll, you
Is the
know,
goal to eventually do two-step distribution in the United States, or
yeah,
like have you
100%.
had that discussion? Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
100%. It'd be great. So that's a huge focus for us right now. Is like, okay, the people who are good at it, let them, like, you know what I mean? They already have this in place. Like that's how we should work together. Uh,
Yeah. Because there's I mean, there's distribution is not like it used to be back in the day, but there's still some pretty massive distributors out there. Some of them don't deal with accessories or safety products and things like that, but some do. And then also some have like law enforcement and military sections of their distribution, chain.
Right.
And that's the benefit, right? Is just having like the reach that a distributor, say someone like Sports South or RSR has, to get your product in as many gun shops across the United States as possible. And they all have these like distributor shows where all the dealers that they represent show up. So it'll be an interesting strategy, because like I said, I don't think there's anything like this. It'll be interesting to see how it goes, right?
Yeah.
But the exposure that you're going to get by attending these events is going to be huge. So it's going to be really exciting to watch where you end up and where this company ends up going.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I mean, it's fun to just meet people like you, like both of you guys along the way, and like just you guys, like I'm so transparent about the journey. I'm not trying to be anything that I'm not, and I show up. I show up as myself, as you should, and it's just nice that everybody does that and you can just connect that way. The journey, it'll be a good one if nothing else, like I said, So I appreciate it, and it'll be fun. And like you have to be visible. You have to be at these events to get in the stream, right? You have to show up. Like so, it's a lot for me to come from Sweden every single time, but it's the highlights. It's just like it makes it that much better, right?
Right. Yeah. Like Yehuda's in the chat saying you should go to Goals, right? Which is another show for GOA, which is in Knoxville. Yeah, that's it. That would be a good show too. I mean, that's the thing, is you got to come from Sweden every time you attend a show. That is a hike, and that's an expense. You know what I mean? So you got to pick and choose and be
It really,
careful.
yeah, it is. But I mean, show up. Then I'm like, it has to be a good time. I'm here. I'm already here. Like I think my dedication level has to go up a lot whenever it's not a $200 flight, and an hour flight as well. Like my dedication is like me with soaking wet feet, dragging my prototypes through Finland, like, and then getting on a boat and then getting in a taxi. And it's like I'm already here. Like now I have to make it happen, right?
Well, and I will say this for your story: it is happening fast. You know what I mean? Yeah, you have some crazy things in the beginning, but like it's kind of cool to see it kind of snowball and go, which means I think it's like meant to be, right? If it's happening this fast and you're having like these chance meetings with powerful people in elevators that are just like, yeah, sure, like let's do something, right? And then this guns.com thing is huge. Like guns.com, when they endorse you and they help you to market, like that's massive. I mean, we do a survey every year to try to get real information from real gun owners, not the bullshit that behavioral health likes to throw forward sometimes. And I don't mean that in a mean way, but sometimes I look at the statistics that they get when they say, we asked X amount of gun owners. And I'm like, who did you ask? Because it's not the people that I know. But, our first year, Kevin, what did we have? Like couple hundred people take the survey?
Yeah, a couple hundred. And then at that same guns.com party you were at, we were working on the survey and they helped us promote it. And they got over 2,000 responses. And that was critical to getting the healthcare community and researchers to take that survey serious and be like, oh, there's something here. And then now we're working with them to promote kind of the next steps of the surveys of what topics we should dive deeper. And maybe we'll be in that newsletter with you on Sunday.
Yeah, right.
Let's go.
Yeah. That endorsement is huge, though.
Yeah, and it is, and I just like I don't know, it's huge. Their reach is huge. They've done just such a beautiful job with everything, and the team, they're like nicknamed Funds.com because they're so fun to be with and to hang out with. Like we were just on a tiki boat in Florida, like you know what I mean. Like they also like Cordova, work hard, play hard, and they just value I don't know genuine relationships, and yeah, like it's I really love the team over there. They're great people.
Yeah, we deal with like a Will and Craig and
Yeah.
my my work hard, play hard history goes for another time. I have some amazing stories about those guys who were out and a homeless man trying to kill me. Yeah. I gotta tell the story one time, but I was in Indianapolis. We were there for the NRA show, and that's the first time I met Will and Craig. And we were all at a table together, and there was a very angry homeless man that I have a character arc with him. By the end of the show, meaning like the end of the week, we ended up becoming buddies, but we had a rocky start. But that's how I met those guys, because they're like, dude, the guns and mental health guy who runs a mental health organization does not need to be fighting homeless people. It's not a good look. So we have some funny stories. We'll have to get to that. But okay, with respect to time and being over there in Sweden and everything, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you, what's your Instagram, what all your social medias, website, anything else you want to plug?
Thank you. Yeah, so you can find everything. We're Civilian Co. So on Instagram, I'll just drop the handle there. And then you can see if you want to follow the founder's journey. I'm really tightly linked to that page. I collab on a lot of posts. So you'll be able to find me there. We have our website, we have our link tree if you guys want to work with us. The link tree has a form where you can request samples if you'd like to, if you'd like to shoot it or test it or get one in your hand so you can request a sample to work with us. Yeah, and it's our own website. You'll see us on guns.com shortly, which would be great. Our vest and yeah, just follow and hop in, water swarm.
So one last question before we let you go: how do you tend to your mental health?
What a good question. I should have expected that one. It's been hard. Like it's been really hard. Like sleep is hard for me right now because I work really late with the time differences. Like my Calendly link is open till 11 p.m. every night. Yeah, like if I get a call, I take it 10:30 at night. Doesn't matter where I am or what I'm doing. So I'd say like the areas of improvement would be like sleep and health. But I live like 1 minute walk away from the water, and I need to go outside. Like I'm like solar powered as a person. Living in Sweden, that's hard. Now we have a sunny day, but it affects me so much. So I'd say like I need to go. I journal. I read a lot. I read and journal like every morning. And if I don't do that, um, nobody wants to be around me. So I really need to like give myself time. And it's like founders burnout is real, right? You know that you've been working so hard. Like if I don't give myself that time, it's just like the company might not even exist, or you know what I mean? I might not, and let alone what does that leave me with, right? So I'd say like it sounds basic, but like uh, classical music, journaling, and reading a lot, and then I'm back.
Yeah, I love that. That's good. There's
Yeah.
no one ever has the same answer, and that's what's awesome about it, right?
Mm.
It's important to tend to your mental health. And on that note, thank you for coming. Like, thank you for coming through. It's been great. I can't wait to see the journey of this company. I think it's going to be awesome. I love your energy and what you bring to the table. Like, it was a pleasure to meet you in person in Florida. Thank you for coming on. I want to thank all the sponsors that make this possible. I want to thank all the listeners that popped in today. You better pop in next week. I don't want it just because of that pretty face. I want the same people here. Kevin,
I can come on next week too.
but we might have to have you on every week just to come in and say something, even if it's to drop one line. I want to thank everyone that came through today. It's a pleasure having you in the chat. And until next time, we wish you all better mental wellness.
Yes, thank you so much.